And I'm Cynthia.
And we're your anchors for Tuesday, February 4th.
Please stand for the pledge.
Today is National Thank a Carrier Day, a Mail Carrier Day, and a Silent Reading Day.
Your lunch options for today are hot dog, mozzarella sticks, and cheese knots.
Your sides for today are green beans and fresh veggie tray.
The organic grocery chain Eat Fair is going out of business. The company has 50 stores mainly in the South.
There is no cure for the deadly coronavirus, but several big biotech companies are hoping that they can treat the symptom with existing antiviral medication. In the meantime, China built a 1,000-bed hospital in just 10 days in order to treat people with the virus.
Patrick Mahomes made Super Bowl history on Sunday, scoring 3 straight touchdowns in 5 minutes.
Now to Imani Derko with the sports and weather.
Thank you, Cynthia and Caleb. Although the girls' swim team had a loss last night, the boys won their third straight meet with a final score of 115 to 48. It was a great night with 58 best times for the boys. Girls basketball have a game tonight against Center Grove Central at Belzer. The wrestling team has a match tonight against Northview. The boys basketball awards night will also be tonight at 6 o'clock p.m. in the LGI room. Students must go home and then return for the awards. Do not stay here at school. Also, intramural sign-ups have already begun for 4-on-4 indoor soccer. For more information, see Mr. King and Mr. Connors. Sign-up forms are available during lunches. Softball has conditioning at LC on Mondays and Wednesdays. LC cross-country coach is also offering training after school each day from 4 to 5:30. Anyone is invited to attend. Your transportation home must be at LC at 5:30. Now here's Derek with the weather.
Weather is the high of 53 degrees and the low is 28 degrees.
Now back to our anchors.
Thanks, Iman and Dereka.
Tuesdays are for students at Chick-fil-A. Just download the app on your smartphone and get a free sandwich between 4 and 6 on Tuesdays for next month.
Belzer will have his first ever poetry contest starting this week. You can enter the contest by dropping off a poem to the Media Center. Poems will be on display and judged the week of February 10th. Prizes will be awarded.
Students on your Canvas home screen, you are invited to sign up for support groups such as grief groups, anger management, or anxiety. Signing up by Wednesday.
The spring season of Elite Gaming Live begins February 12th. If you are interested, just show up.
Here is a book talk from Mr. Harris.
Good morning, Belzer. My name is Mr. Harris. I'm a social studies teacher here. Most of you know me. For the most part, I have to read professional literature for the school, and I read a lot of homework. I go to the library and I ask Miss Joan, who's very helpful in the library, to provide me with ideas. And so over the last year, I've read a bunch of different books in the library, which were a lot of fun. I read some of the R.L. Stein. They're not too bad. They're kind of fun, all right? I read Gordon Corman and his series of books, and his are really good. Their Lexile is kind of quick, but they are sharks, and they are shipwrecks, and they are exciting, so those are not too bad. One of the best books I read is called The Stars Beneath Our Feet by David Moore. I had to share that with one of my football players. Mackay Dunham was reading it, I was reading it, he was reading it, I was reading it, so that's a very good book right there. I also read The Great War, and this one is kind of like a series of letters during World War I. And in World War I, there's a movie out right now called 1917, I haven't seen yet, but it's a good history. That one's not too bad right there. And probably the best one as far as Lexile and reading and description is called The Dark Intercept by Julia Keller. That book is better than The Maze Runner in its describing and explaining the big brother, the big government that's out after you. So that's probably the best book I read. And then the Stars Beneath Our Feet is probably the next best book I've read. And I want to thank you. Ask Miss Joan for help in the library. She's a lot of help, and she guided me towards a lot of good books.
Today's random fact is that pumpkins, squash, and gourds are all the same species.
The quote of the day is by Jeff Bezos, who said, "Life is too out of with people who aren't resourceful."
The celebrity birthday for today is basketball player for the Los Angeles Lakers, Darius Morris.
Now to Mr. Harshel with the rest morning announcements.
Have a great day, Bruins.
Good morning, Bruins. Just two quick announcements this morning. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you to Mr. Harris for doing that book talk for our BTV crew. Teachers, just a reminder to you, we would love for you to talk with your kids, especially through BTV, so all students can see it, about what books you're reading. Students, don't forget, we also offer opportunities for you to give book talks about what texts you're reading that are getting your excitement and that you've enjoyed. Mr. Harris made a great point. Joan Dutour, our Media Center Specialist, does an amazing job of putting great titles out on the display cases in the Media Center to make sure that you have access to great books. So please get to the Media Center, check out those books. Today I know is a silent reading day, guys. I know sometimes that time gets rushed. We don't quite get that 10 minutes that we're trying to get. But just remember, those little 10 minutes on Tuesday and Thursday throughout the entire school year, if we can get around 10 minutes twice a week, we're looking at over 12 hours of additional reading time that you can get right here at school. So please make sure you're taking advantage of that time. Secondly, students, I want to let you know that we have a number of guests in our building today. No different expectations than I have every single day for you. Remember that WIDA testing is going on, so when you are in the D hallway, please use your best manners. Try to remain quiet as best as you can, especially if you have to go to your locker or if you're passing back and forth from lunch. Please show those students respect by trying to be quiet. And again, remember that we have guests in our building today that may be stopping into your classrooms. Please make sure that you are respectful and, again, representing Belzer in a positive way. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Smith and Mr. Bergman, who have a quick announcement about our cafeteria.
Morning, students. Mr. Smith and I want to talk about some issues that we've been having with the cafeteria. At the beginning of the year, we were pretty clear about expectations. You were not to throw food or to bring any food out of the cafeteria. You are to keep your area clean. You're responsible for all your trash and your trays. So, beginning this week, we'll be implementing a new policy. Sometimes our cafeteria has been left a mess by certain lunches. If that continues, the following day, we will not be selling any extras to that lunch. So I'm going to call out some of my 8th graders right now. C lunch, you guys have done an excellent job of keeping the cafeteria clean. I don't foresee that being an issue. D lunch, I have had numerous incidents now where the cafeteria has been left a mess, where students have tried to leave behind trays, trash, they've thrown food on the floor. If that happens, the following day, no extras will be sold. So make sure that you are holding your peers accountable. If you see them leaving trash behind, if you see them trying to leave a tray behind, remind them that they need to take care of their things.
Also, remember, this is your school. Please help keep it clean. That includes the cafeteria, as Mr. Bergman has stated. You see Mrs. Illinois during the A and B lunch cleaning up at the end of lunch. We don't eat in there, but yet we still help clean up because, you know, it's our school. We want to make sure it looks good. So once again, if we actually help pick up an item on the floor, even though it may not be yours, just pick it up and throw it away for us. It's not that big of a deal. So if we ask you to pick something up for us, please do it, because Mrs. Neal and I, once again, do not eat in the cafeteria during A or B lunch, but yet we still help clean it up because we want it to look good for the next lunch coming in. So please be helpful. Also, I know this is a problem in A and B lunch. Stop leaving your trays on the table. Like I said, take your own tray up and stack it at the window and exit the cafeteria. Stop leaving trays on the table. If Mrs. Neal or anybody in A, B, C, or D lunch continue to leave trays on the table and we have to pick them up, once again, you will not be getting extras the next day. So please hold each other accountable for keeping the cafeteria clean. Thank you and have a great day.